Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Vantage Point, where we'll bring you a wide perspective of the week in the news. I'm your host, Mohammed Choonara. Thank you for joining us this evening. This week we'll bring you the latest on the violence in Pretoria that's surely bordering on xenophobia. We'll chat about the bank collusion saga, Brian Molefe's sudden ascension to Parliament, and we have a wonderful story of charity, humility and Islam from the United States. We begin in the capital, where sporadic acts of violence have taken place, mainly targeting foreign nationals. Shops have been looted, properties torched, and foreigners are living in fear. Locals say they are targeting drug lords and brothel owners. However, foreigners fear another spate of xenophobia against Africans. And we also have a new political party being launched by a budding Pretoria politician. The South African First Party was founded and registered with the Independent Electoral Commission in December by Mario Khumalo. It wants to drive foreign nationals out of South Africa, seals the country's borders to protect the nation from crime, drugs and prostitution, and ensure that only locals benefit from scant economic opportunities. The 37-year-old is explicit about his anti-foreign sentiments, blaming millions of foreign nationals in South Africa for the country's social and economic problems. Among the many different nationalities living in South Africa, there are an ever-growing Somali population. Unfortunately, many Somalis have been targeted by gangs of thugs in this country. Let's take a look at the daily struggle one Somali man has to go through to make ends meet in his adopted country.
ورالي كعنا سوكع كبس وحدنا وانتي دكان كعبلني وقت ما سنه لا ايوه صح I was expecting many things in South Africa, many changes. I was expecting that I'll get a good education in terms of health, security. I thought if South Africa is more savior than Somalia. But I see Somalia and South Africa is same. There is a regime called Al-Shabaab where they will force you to do something, to follow their rules. If you don't do it, they will easily kill you. They like always to recruit the young boys. That's why first I left Somalia. The situation hasn't improved. The Al-Shabaabs now, they need more people, to be on their side. By hook and crook, they need people to recruit. Okay. 500 grams. We are always here inside our shop. We don't go out. We don't participate anything or activity or what. We don't have friends. In the night, on weekends, we don't sleep well. They throw something, stones on us. Some of them, they shout our names. I see if I'm in another world, underground. The locals, they don't know about, the refugee. They don't know. They see us if we took their country, but we are not. We are here for just to save our lives.
You see people, why they are against for foreigners? It's just because Me, I'm doing my main business. If the foreigners, they go there, they charge the people for less price. So me, I can't find a job because I'm a citizen. When the foreigner, they get money here in South Africa, they go into their country, they change that money. It's gonna be double.
Even before it was better because we don't have this running waters, because we are not too much. We are not too much. It is a few shacks like. Now it's full of people. Sometimes they're making the strikes, crying for all those things, the houses, the water, electricity. When they make the strike, they kill some peoples, you know.
The demonstration, it seems as if it was a peaceful one. But there was other guys or thugs who were inside, the demonstration and started, things to be an ugly way. They attacked us. They burned 2 shops around, and they looted the other about 11 shops, including mine. Then the police, they tried to intervene, but the demonstration was larger than the police. They stopped me here. They shoot one of my workmates. You can't predict, when the xenophobia will happen, or any time xenophobia it can happen. So life is very complicated and hectic. I like to go back one day, but currently I don't think so, because my family back home, they are in need of my help. My brothers are like my children now. I'm the one who is supporting them. Education, food, everything. Maybe when they are dependent on themselves, I can do what I want. Sometimes you find you are sick or what, and you don't know what's your problem, because moral, you are dead. Always you are in a defense, maybe as if you are waiting someone is coming to you or to kill you or maybe to harm you, or maybe you might lose your things or your goods. We're scared. Always as if we are in a battle front line. I don't see if I have a future in South Africa, because I will end up in maybe finishing my life like this in a mess.
Sad scenes playing out, it's hard to imagine what some of these refugees go through living in a foreign land. Another huge story with massive implications for South Africa is the Competition Commission referring a case to the tribunal for prosecution for alleged price fixing against 17 banks, including 3 of South Africa's largest banks. The watchdog has been investigating a case of collusion and market allocation in the trading of foreign currency pairs involving the rand since April 2015. The Commission said it had discovered that for at least 9 years, the banks had agreed to collude on prices for deals for spot trades on trade involving US dollar and rand pairings. As more information is disseminated daily, this has led to political parties calling for tough action against the banks, and the saga has also thrown sharp doubt on the rand's devaluation following the Nanegate debacle of December 2015.
What we are saying as the Youth League is that, in Gauteng, the MEC, who may not have been necessarily been directly, but just said, because this thing happened under my watch, I resign. So we are expecting that because of these collusions and all of that, the department that must do its function in terms of government is that of Treasury. The Department of Treasury has failed to do its oversight role. So who then becomes the next minister? That will be the decision of the
Institutions
president.
like banks continue to enjoy protection of treasury. And treasury is one institution that has been created to protect white monopoly capital for quite some time. And it is becoming evident now why they have always enjoyed support. One thing that the apartheid government did is that when we crossed over to 1994, they made sure that the institution, which is treasury and management, continues to serve and protect the interest of white monopoly capital.
This has led to many people to question whether any of this is politically motivated or just greed on the side of bankers. However, it does play into the hands of those who want Finance Minister Pravin Gordhan replaced. This really makes one think.
The South African main banks, main white-owned banks, are law unto themselves. They are a criminal gang. They brutalize at will whomever they consider a problem in terms of maintaining their profits. As we all know, they shut down businesses' accounts in basically protecting the interests of white monopoly capital. These are criminal agents, these are criminal organizations, and they need to be treated as such. That is why we're marching to the Reserve Bank. The South African Reserve Bank is the biggest protector of these banks because the Minister of Finance, Pravin Gordhan, has got shares in these banks. He's a direct beneficiary of criminal activity.
These are 17 international banks working together to make profit. Yes, that is questionable behavior, but it has got absolutely nothing to do with the rate. It's a bunch of traders who are doing it not for any political motivation, other than, they want to make profit, because if they make profit, they get paid bonuses. So the problem is not white minority capital, but rather just general human greed on a global scale. When we see things like Nenegate, that is almost a catalyst. So perhaps the reaction that we saw to Nenegate was not actually, that reaction that the market gave, where the currency slid incredibly far in a very short period of time. In a situation like that, I think that perhaps with people working together, they could push the currency further than what it rightfully should be.
At the same time, former Eskom CEO Brian Molefe's sudden accession to Parliament has got tongues wagging countrywide, with many analysts predicting a cabinet reshuffle soon. Critics of current Finance Minister Pravin Gordhan have called for Molefe to replace him, while opposition parties have said this is a move by the President to capture the National Treasury. The opposition Democratic Alliance were quick to condemn the move, as they feel Molefe has a cloud over his head following the State of Capture report, but they seem to have forgotten that they appointed Glenys Breitenbach when she left the NPA with a cloud over her head as well. Different strokes for different folks, or hypocrisy, one could say. On that note, we'll take a short break. Stay tuned. Welcome back. At an age where most kids need supervision to do their homework, hundreds of thousands of minors are crossing continents alone. These young children are forced to fend for themselves in often hostile environments where unscrupulous people take advantage of them. In a truly upsetting clip, young Afghan boys describe the situation and how they are forced to sell themselves as they are penniless.
پس ما اینجا در افغان پارک نامش هست، اینجاست، در اینجا در ترنسیشن در یک اتاق هستم، اینجا میخوابم. من که از افغانستان برآمدم 15 سال 3 ماه بودم. اینجا خیلی هستن همسن من، اینجا اتاق قطعا 2 نفر میخوابن، همسن من هستن، خرد هستن. این مشکل است که اینجا مردم سربیا موقعی هستن میان اینجا بچه افغان ها ریفیوجی یاره که هستن میبینن فامیلی، باز یاره که هستن خوش میکنن، باز میگن اینجا سلام میشن، میگن که ما به تو پول میتیم، تو بیا که ما کار غلط کو، کار خراب کو.
مردمی که سن 60 ساله 70 ساله 40 ساله سنش می باشن اونجا می استاد میشه چقدر پول کار داری اون میگه یا 1,500,000 میده اونجا میره کار خراب میکنه زیادتر مردم اینجا پول نداره به خاطر خنک از این هیچ چیز پول نداره مجبور میشن.
We pray to the Almighty to ease the suffering of the refugees all over the world. This week also marks the 100th year since the SS Mendi sunk, killing more than 600 South African soldiers. One of the most heart-wrenching tragedies in our country's recorded history is the sinking of the SS Mendi, the troopship that was sent to the icy depths of the English Channel 100 years ago. Carrying well over 800 servicemen, the majority of whom were black South Africans, the SS Mendi was struck by another South African vessel, the SS Darrow, which was travelling at a recklessly high speed on the morning of February the 21st, 1917. Being much larger than the Mendi, the Darrow survived the collision, and as it sailed nonchalantly away, its captain unmoved and unperturbed, 616 South Africans, 607 of them black troops, and 30 crew died at the sea on the Mendi's final voyage. The South African Native Labour Corps, as they were called in apartheid, were recruited exclusively as a labour force to dig trenches, providing logistical support, offloading tons of ammunition, and even doing odd duties during World War I. Even out at sea, apartheid racism reigned supreme. They had been misled to believe that in return for their services, they would receive their liberation back home after the war. It was not to be. As we grapple with social blights such as racism, sexism, and xenophobia, we must remember the profound words of one of the men on the Mendi, Isaac Williams Wanchop, an interpreter who had previously served as a minister in the Congregational Native Church of Fort Beaufort. As he sought to calm the sinking shipload of men, he raised his arms and declared, "Be quiet and calm, my countrymen. What is happening now is what you came to do. You are going to die, but that is what you came to do. Brothers, we are drilling the death drill. I, as a Xhosa, say you are my brothers, Swazis, Pondos, Basotho. So let us die like brothers. We are the sons of Africa. Raise your war cries, brothers, for though they made us leave our assegais in the kraal, our voices are left with our bodies." And we end this week with the beautiful story of humility, generosity, and kindness. Franklin Square is one of the many places in the Washington, D.C. inhabited by those without a home. It sits 2 blocks from 2 very different houses, the White House to the west and Mayur Kebab House to the east. Mayur Kebab House owner Qazi Manan comes in early most days to prepare a special feast for customers at his Pakistani Indian restaurant. But the dishes are destined for an audience that's rarely welcome in elegant eateries. You see, for the past few months, Manan has opened his restaurants to the homeless. Let's take a look.
On a dreary morning in Washington, D.C., layers of donated clothes keep them warm. All they have resides at their feet or in their arms. Finding shelter and food defines their day. Dawood Proctor knows this struggle all too well.
I mean, I see people come past and laugh at the homeless and you know, might look down on them, but if you really look at it, a lot of people ain't number one step away from being this way.
Franklin Square is one of many places in the nation's capital inhabited by those without a home. And it sits just 2 blocks from 2 very different houses. To the west, the White House. To the east, Mayor Kebab House.
This is Sunday morning.
Owner Qazi Manan was in early on this particular day.
With every dish, magic is that how much you have to stir it.
He and his staff are preparing a special feast for customers at his Pakistani Indian restaurant.
Potato, cauliflower, chicken, naan bread, chickpeas, and vegetable biryani.
But these dishes are destined for an audience that's rarely welcome in elegant eateries.
I knew about this place being here and passed it through my everyday travels.
For the past few months, Manan has opened his restaurant to the homeless.
Oh, we are blessed. Look, blessings are here. They're waiting for us to serve them. Isn't it amazing? Sometimes it comes in 15, 20. Sometimes they come No, like nobody. We are waiting. God, please send somebody, right?
Nearly 20 people on this day,
rainy, cold, and wet. Oh,
came in from the elements for lunch.
What you guys like to drink, tea or coffee?
They're treated like any other guest.
Tea, okay. What about you?
Except for one key difference.
Coffee. You, brother?
They eat for free.
Anytime, any day. Restaurant is open. You are most welcome. You are most welcome. You are our guest, just like other people. Anything you like with the menu or with the buffet, you're most welcome, eat free.
Yes, it's shocking to me because I didn't think it was brothers out there that really cared for us to, you know, to help support the needs of the homeless.
He won without rice. Give him a tandoori chicken. Give him a potato cauliflower, and give him, you want bread?
So we appreciate this guy right here bringing us down to eat, because sometimes on Sundays it's slow. Well, sometimes we got to go around and beg, or try to, sometimes, you know, we get a cup and try to make money, to try to find ourselves way out to eat, trying to survive out here.
You guys are the most important guests for me.
Manan's boundless optimism and love of food was not cultivated at a high-profile culinary institute.
A lot of ginger and garlic paste.
His desire to provide stems from a painful uncertainty that defined his childhood. Qazi Manan grew up on a farm in a small village in Pakistan. He had 9 siblings.
We didn't have any electricity. We didn't have any running water. And the school was, believe me or not, was under the tree. My elementary school, we didn't have a building. I study under the tree. When the rains, really hard rains start, teachers say go home because there is no building.
To support his family, he went to work at 12 selling ice. The best school was 4 miles away, so that's how far he walked to get a formal education. In 1996, at the age of 25, Manan says his visa was miraculously approved, so he borrowed money from a cousin for a plane ticket to America. He started as a cashier, earning $3 an hour at this gas station in one of the district's toughest neighborhoods.
When I arrive in America, I have $3, just $3. And I started my life basically with nothing.
Hard work would alter the arc of his life. He says he worked double shifts, then multiple jobs. He saved up enough money to buy 1 limousine. The idea that a kid who came from nothing could one day drive the rich and powerful around in luxury inspired him even more. 1 limo turned into a fleet of vehicles. His business flourished enough that some 20 years later, he opened his own restaurant.
That's called American dream. You know this, like this is the only country where you say American dream, not in any other country.
So yeah, he kind of understands. That's a good thing.
Now that makes sense now?
Yeah, it makes sense now. That make a lot of sense.
He was blessed to obtain things through his struggle, and it's like he didn't ever give up.
But to fully understand this man, you should know one more thing.
I love to prepare this food for a homeless shelter.
Every Sunday, he makes extra food and delivers it himself to those in need in another part of the city.
Come and try.
Manan connected a few months ago on social media with volunteers who now spend their Sundays dishing out hot meals to the homeless.
And they make you feel that you are valued.
For shelter regular Ron Verker, having hope on the Lord's Day means everything to him.
It's huge. It's huge to know that I'm just this nothing, I'm nobody, but God thinks I'm somebody.
Yes, thank you, yes.
Qazi Manan says a skeptic recently told him that if he gives his food away, he'll surely go out of business in no time. Manan believes the more he gives away, the more God will bless him.
I think this is all from God, and because of my mission is from God.
He will always carry with him what his mother told him about holding tightly to his faith in the face of despair. She said, if you share even when you don't have, God will take you from darkness to light.
That's all we have time for this week. We hope you enjoyed the show. Feel free to comment by sending us an email at vantagepoint@itvnetworks.tv or follow us on social media. From me and the rest of the team, until we meet again, fi amanillah, wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.